Hello and welcome back to the Fixing Football podcast. I am Martin Naylor. I'm here with Liam O'Meara and Scott Naylor. Scott, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing? How's things? How's life?
Very well. Life is good. Life is busy. Life is hectic, and the world is on fire. But otherwise, I'm all good. How about you?
All right. I've somehow escaped being anywhere near any town centres this weekend, so we don't need to talk about it, and that's fine. Liam, how are you?
Yeah, very well, Martin. How things have been going well? Nice quiet weekend. What about yourself?
Good, yeah. Bit busy. My back's still not right. Painkillers are still happening, so that's good. Listen, we've got a busy week ahead. The EFL season is upon us. Liam, the mighty Bolton Wanderers will be in action this weekend.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking forward to the start of the season. I think I've been dreading it a little bit, but now we're in the sort of the days leading up to it. I'm looking forward to it, seeing what the new season will bring, if you will.
Got our season doesn't start for a couple of weeks. Transfer window is hotting up a little bit. Anything caught your eye?
Well, the big news from my end of the spectrum is Conor Gallagher is looking like it is over with. His time at Chelsea is over. He's got a good move, I think, to Atletico Madrid. I think it's a good move for everybody involved. He gets to play for a great club under a top manager, gets to play in the Champions League, and we get good money for somebody in the last year of the contract. So, yeah, it's a little bit sad to see an academy player like that go, especially someone who
is it?
It's
sad. It's sad now. It's sad now academy players are leaving.
No, but here's the difference. I am happy to see the back of him. You hold vigils by candlelight for your losers who you let go of. Conor Gallagher, God love him, he was not going to be a good fit for whatever we're trying to do. He would have just been holding the bench if he did choose to sort of see out his contract and be a bit stubborn, which he had every right to do. He would have been wasting years of his career, and I'm glad that they've been able to agree on a way forward. And no, best of luck to him. But and I think in terms of incomings, I've not heard much more on Victor Osimhen. That was hotting up a little bit. A bit of a loan deal with Lukaku, but yeah, not sure if you've heard any different.
Well, the news that Arsenal were trying to hijack it in the final hours. Even our mate Fraud Brizio was saying that Arsenal are deep in talks with Napoli about it. I'm not sure where this has come from or why. We're clearly on the lookout for a striker, but I think Victor Gyökeres of Sporting Lisbon has been our main target. But something seems to have happened with the Osimhen deal, so Arsenal look keen. I'm not right arsed. As long as we get a good top talent, I think I would prefer Gyökeres. Just personally think it fits our style a little bit better, and a bit younger. But otherwise,
how old is Gyökeres? He's about 25, 6?
25 or 6, yeah, and Osimhen's maybe 28. So
no, Osimhen's only 25.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I think
I
must
feel
be
like
the same.
All right.
So what's the latest on that? Because I've been off Twitter because it's melted my brain the last couple of days. So
Twitter is it? Oh my
the latest
God.
in?
Yeah.
We can get into how much of a fucking in-fire Twitter fucking timelines are. But on Osimhen specifically, has there been any concrete update from our friends Ornstein and Fabrizio?
No, I think concrete interest and ongoing talks is the same on both parties. I feel like we're closer to the Gyökeres deal, but the Osimhen one, both Ornstein and Fabrizio were reporting it this week. So yeah, and on the Twitter one, if anyone does know how to clear up your For You page, so you're not seeing far right versus far left and the absolute depths of human society just taking up your feed, please let us know.
I want to chip in on the Osimhen thing as well. I wouldn't be surprised if PSG get involved late on. I know they've been sniffing around the whole time, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them sniff around, particularly if United do make a bold move on Agate as well.
Well, I think that was the original plan before the Lukaku. I think the sort of Lukaku was holding up a bit of a chain. Lukaku to Napoli, Osimhen to PSG, but also PSG also want Kvaratskhelia. So that's going to be some hell of a transfer fee for Napoli. And there's a bit of a merry-go-round with strikers.
Believe you as well, Scott, linked with Samu Omorodian, who I must admit,
Fucking hell.
I don't know a lot about, but that seems
I'm
something
sick.
today.
I'm sick of hearing about this guy because he's been apparently, according to all the pundits on Twitter.
Before you go, I've literally only heard of him today, so I don't know. Yeah.
It's been going around on that apparently he's like a player that we really like and we really think he's going to be one of the top stars for the future. I've watched some clips of him. He looks fucking useless. I'm usually willing to give anyone a bit of the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, you never know. Let's see what happens when he lands. But he looks fucking
experience, Scott. But go on, carry on.
He looks fucking toilet. It's absolutely awful. And I don't. But they were talking of like, I don't know how true it is, but there was talk that we'd maybe try to offer like 50 million euros, and he's played like 9 games.
Who is this?
Like,
sorry,
what?
I missed. Who is this player?
Yeah, exactly. Who is this player? Samu Omorodian. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so apologies if I'm butchering it. But he's some young striker who plays for Atletico. But apparently they keep turning it down. They keep saying no, but I think there's movements because Gallagher's gone there, and they're quite close to Julian Alvarez as well, apparently. So
yeah,
if that happens,
yeah.
But I think with PSG as well, they're trying to get rid of Gonzalo Ramos because he's been terrible. But there's no suitors for him, so I think that might be holding up the Osman thing as well. That they can't get forwards out that they need out, as well as Agate. So yeah, it's funnily enough, Lukaku's at the centre of it all again somehow. I don't know how he's managed that, but he's somehow the centre of the universe again.
Are they trying to get rid of Ramos, PSG? Didn't he activate that loan about January time or something? Like that was a loan with an option to buy, and they actioned it around Christmas, didn't they? Completely convinced that this was the man, and looks like they're trying to offload him. Is that right?
Yeah, he was not the man. He had a really, really poor season.
I hate it when you think they're the man.
Same with him and Kolo Muani. I feel like PSG is trying to get rid of them both.
That's the other one. Yeah, I couldn't remember the other forward's name, but yeah, Muani's not hasn't been the player that they thought he was.
I think United are considering using Jadon Sancho as a striker, though, despite all these strikers being available. I think United are happy that Sancho now is the striker that they need.
Really?
That's Ten Hag's consideration is to you, because obviously you've got the Højlund injury at the moment, and Rashford is still Rashford, unfortunately, despite a pre-season. So apparently he's considering auxiliary forwards to fill in that number 9 role at the biggest club.
We've still got Xerxes. Xerxes coming.
Again, it could be any position. I have no idea.
Yeah. The other one you mentioned.
There was someone that we could ask.
we are due a Man United expert dropping in any moment.
We are.
You mentioned the Atletico Madrid deal for Gallagher, Julian Alvarez. I think from what I've seen on the Twitter and the nose, they are trying to use João Felix, who they can't seem to get rid of. He's on a ridiculous contract and they still demand a ridiculous transfer fee. They're trying to use him as a make weight to offload some of the cash that they would need for Julian Alvarez. So City, I don't know. I don't feel like João Felix and Pep Guardiola are a good match somehow.
I can't see a world where Felix is playing for City. I'd be very, very surprised if that ever happened.
Liam, any other transfers caught your eye? Is there anything? I saw Fulkrug had joined West Ham today. I think that's a good signing.
Yeah. West Ham's going to be an interesting one next season in terms of how they perform. And you must sit there as David Moyes, though, just thinking, are you joking, lads? Like, a man who took them to the European trophy. And
so true.
Yeah, and then as soon as they get a manager in who essentially literally spits his dummy out the very first time he ever gets any kind of nose or anything like that, they fully thrown the checkbook to back him. I'd be fuming if I was Moyes, but there we are.
It's all in search of the West Ham way, I guess.
It stinks of like West Ham like winning the transfer window with loads of players coming in and they still being toilet and all of them being like Fulkrug stinks of like 6 in his first 7 and then none, like 2 in his next fucking 25.
Gamaka.
I'm not convinced on Fulkrug. I must admit that's the signing that all the people who sort of like to categorise footballers will say, "Oh, he's built for the Premier League. He's big. He's strong. He's good in the air." But how many other Premier League strikers are like that other than Haaland? None. So then he'll get at most double figures playing every game. It just that striker isn't suited for the Premier League anymore. Haaland's just a freak, so he doesn't count. But yeah, I'm concerned about that move.
My only other one is I think we've agreed with Sociedad for Mikel Merino, who did well for Spain. He didn't start any games for Spain in the Euros, but he featured in every match. Scored that winner against Italy, I think it was. I think that will be a good signing. I'm not sure. I don't know much about him. From what I saw for Spain, he was a bit more of a bit more someone who sits next to the six. So I don't know. I wouldn't really class him as like an 8 or an attacking midfielder. But I've seen varying reports about him that he is more attacking than say Declan Rice or Thomas Partey. So I'm interested to see how that one develops. But that's looking like it's close and is going to happen.
Was he? Excuse me. Was he not at Newcastle for a time?
He was, yeah, for like 18 months. Scored once. But I don't remember that. I've only seen that just through doing a bit of research afterwards. But yeah, he's been a bit of a journeyman really. He had some time at Dortmund, Osasuna, and has been at Sociedad for a minute with Zubimendi in midfield. So I think he's another one who's been linked with a lot of different clubs, City included. So another ones to keep your eyes out for. Let's get on to the season ahead. In fact, before we do that, next week is our big predictions episode where we're going to do our Premier League predictions that we did last year, where we can all lay it on the line, stick our necks out, make some actual bold predictions. And also next week, we're going to do the start of the... so we've got our FPL League, our Fantasy Premier League, so please do join that. Go and find all the details on our Twitter and Instagram. If you can wade your way through the absolute horse shit that is a Twitter feed, you might find ours. Just go to @FixingFootball and you'll find the code and please join. And while you're at it, subscribe and follow and do all that nice stuff just because it's cool. We're also going to do the FPL draft this year. And this is just between us and something we can take on a bit of a journey with and play aside from the public league that we're all going to be involved with. The FPL draft is like where you take turns picking players. So as in like the draft system like in the NFL or the NBA. So I think Haaland's seeded like number 1 and Bruno Fernandes is like 8th and Anana's like 799th or something like that. There's no so there's a seeding system to the players and you'll take turns picking them. I think that might be interesting. And then you can like apply for transfers and stuff like that, which I think might be an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, be interested to see if you back up your loyalty and pick Smith Rowe first. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm not picking him first, but I'll definitely have him if no one else does. He's up there.
No one else will.
Everything you said about Conor Gallagher, I said about Smith Rowe last week, and you was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why'd you like these players?" Same
because you would see him stay. I want Gallagher out. That's the difference. I'm happy to see him go.
I didn't say I wanted him to stay. This is you said I didn't. I said I think the move suits everyone, and he needs to go playing football. This is what I said. It's on record. You can go and see it.
Anyway,
he wasn't playing football.
Well, it's Chelsea. He was starting every week.
No, Smith Rowe.
No, Smith Rowe. What Smith Rowe needs to do is not play football because that's when his value completely balloons. He needs to.
Does.
He had it right there. Ballon d'Or winner in Arsenal's second string.
The Ivan Toney effect.
It's the Mesut Ozil effect, actually. That was another example of that.
Oh, you silly. Right. Let's get on to something else that equally is silly. So, yes, please do keep up with FPL, our draft league. Go and join our Fantasy Premier League. We had about 200 people in it last year, so please do go and join and subscribe to all our shit along the way. Liam, the mighty Bolton Wanderers kick off this weekend. Let's get to it. There's some points that we need to address with Bolton that you've addressed recently. You can find this on one of your very well written articles. I will say, Liam, I think you're really good at your your writing along with that you do for Line of Vienna.
Thank you.
So go through them. Bolton, what do you demand early doors this season?
We need a fast start at Bolton. That is absolutely critical for a number of different reasons. Traditionally, we do start slowly. There's often new players that have to adjust to our playing style, which is very complex, very difficult, very possession-driven. So that often causes issues. I think.
But you haven't got a lot of new players this year.
Well, they've got 3 so far, and a lot of them would be going straight into the team. And if Ian Everett, who's speaking tonight as of Monday on GMRs to believe, we've got 3 or 4 loans ready to go as soon as that thing. So there is that. But the biggest issue is I don't think a lot of the fans are over what happened at the end of our season. We missed out promotion on the final
this was going to be one of my questions. Is do you think you're going to be suffering with that? Is that going to be a thing?
It definitely will be for fans. I can't speak for the players. They've been a strong pre-season, to be fair. They've played well against teams better than them and battered teams that aren't as good as them. So that's kind of what you want to see, really. So from the players, maybe not, but from the fans, definitely. And I think if they don't get results early doors, the fans will turn very quickly.
You've got a decent run of fixtures to start to get this fast start that you want. I mean, you're gonna want 3 out of 3 at least. That's the best possible start in it. I mean, if you can get them 9 points on the books early doors, I think that sets you up for the real shape of your season. And I know the EFL, the Championship's the same, but the League One is really strong this year. There's a lot of big teams and quite a bit of money being spent as well, to be fair. I heard Darren McAntony talking about it. He's the Peterborough chairman, right? Peterborough, yes. Is that right? He was speaking. He said actually Bolton have been trying to take his best player on loan for the last couple of months, but I don't know who. He didn't mention who that was. He just said they've been trying to take my best player.
Yeah, I can't remember what he's called off the top of my head. He's the number 10.
Okay.
Really good player going into last year of his contract. So I think Bolton have been trying to get him. I don't think we're trying to get him on loan. I think he's been a bit naughty there. I think we offered 7 figures, to be fair.
All right.
Yeah, we offered substantial money for him. Is it more? No, I can't remember what his name is.
Anyway, but it means Bolton are still active and still chasing targets, which is good.
So. They've just signed Spon, who is a left wing back I know nothing about, from Hungary, and that's quite an interesting transfer actually, because that is very much linked to the Lordonatics that I've talked about before, the Liverpool link, was it Michael
explain that? Yeah, go on, explain that a little bit.
Partner, they invested in Bolton. Well, his business partner invested in Bolton through their company Lordonatics about 12 months ago, and that is a football analyst system.
Okay.
And this transfer is very much linked to that, and also the player is a very close friend of Dominic Szoboszlai as well. And the idea is that potentially this is killing 2 birds with 1 stone, in the sense that, yes, we're getting a transfer of him to Bolton, someone that Bolton need a left wing back, but also potentially a local friend for Szoboszlai as well.
Interesting.
It's quite interesting.
So anyway, I was going to go on to your opening fixtures. I mean, everyone will be keen to see how Wrexham get on in this league. Yeah. Along with Birmingham, they're the next big talking point, really, is how they cope, how they, how everyone features on the documentary at some point. Yeah. That's your first home game, I think, other than the EFL Cup, but Wrexham at home is the first one for Bolton. What do you expect of them? I mean, Sky Bet and other bookmakers are available, but Sky Bet are making Wrexham something like 14-1 to win League One, which is about 5th or 6th favourites. Birmingham, obviously with the amount of money spent, are out there as favourites, but Bolton are second favourites. And I know you've not been super confident, especially in our group chat, but you've not been super confident as of today, as of this Monday recording, that you're gonna go out there and win the league. But give us your thoughts on that.
About 6 questions there, mine.
Yeah, this is for you to run with, mate.
So firstly, we'll start with Wrexham. What do I think with Wrexham? I wonder how they'll cope if someone's not talking about them for 2 minutes because they're talking about Birmingham instead, and whether that will affect them and if they'll be able to cope with that. So I think that's the concern for Wrexham, is that they might actually have to share the attention a little bit with Birmingham this season. So I wonder what their owners will dress up as, or what silly stunts they'll do, and how nice they are. So there's that. In terms of 14-1, 5th or 6th favourites, yeah, I think that's pretty fair for Wrexham. They've got a very good team. The supercomputer seems to disagree and has them 20th, but
the supercomputer's got Bolton outright champions, by the way.
Yeah, so I think it's been a little bit silly. I think Wrexham will be. I'd be surprised if they're not in the playoffs, as well as Stockport. I think they'll be up there as well. Both of them will be strong. In terms of Birmingham, I mean, not winning would be a massive failure for Birmingham. I think that's a fair comment. I don't think I'm being unreasonable to say that. They've spent the money of God.
I think they should expect it.
Yeah, it's like PSG have dropped in our league for a season. It's ridiculous.
But it is very much like it echoes sort of what Leicester did last year in the Championship. I think Leicester had the most expensive squad ever assembled in the Championship, or at Championship level.
Yeah.
And definitely the highest wage bill ever.
Exactly.
So
I mean, they won it, so fair play.
Well, yeah, that's the model, and it's got to pay off.
Sell the best player when they get promoted to avoid sanctions. But anyway, in terms of Birmingham, we'll just have to see. I think they'll probably win every game in the season. So I think we're fighting for second. Do I think we'll get second? No, I don't. Not as the team currently stands at the moment. I think we're still missing a right back. I still think we're missing another option up front in terms of a full out and out striker if Dion Charles and Adebayo aren't there. So yeah, I think we're still lacking, but we'll definitely be playoffs, I think. But
right.
We could be up there. Don't know.
What is right? Give me what you would accept as a Bolton fan, and then as in terms of your final league position here, what would you accept at 6th, a playoff place?
I would accept turning back time, going back to the playoff final, and playing half decent in that playoff final.
Right.
But in real life, what would I accept? Top 4. I think we should be top 4.
Is there a world where Ian Evatt becomes under scrutiny this season if things aren't going your way? Let's say by November time, and Bolton are somewhere mid to lower half of the table. Do you think that there is going to be questions about him?
There's questions about him now. There's a lot of people that haven't let go the back end of last season.
Yeah, but he's still very highly rated as a manager in this league.
I would say so, but I would also say Bolton fans haven't moved on yet. So I do think that there's pretty much a fundamental split in the fan base about whether Evatt is the man. There's no question about his ability as a manager. He's obviously a very good coach, really good. But getting over the line is different, and he hasn't done that. So I think, yeah, absolutely. I think he's under pressure straight away. I think if we lose on Saturday, he'll be feeling the heat a little bit. He needs it. This is why a fast start's so important, because it could soon turn, and the season could almost be lost by September because it becomes toxic. It's that kind of knife edge it's on.
Let's shift aside from Bolton for a sec. We'll come back to him though. Scott, talk to us about your somewhat lower list second club, Stockport. I think they're going to be. I feel like they're a bit of an underdog this season. They're obviously coming up, but they've also had a bit of money to spend. Would you say that's fair that they're the dark horse this season?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I still think there's some tough teams in that league where that step up is going to be quite big. And speaking to other county fans, I say other county fans like I'm one. I'm not. I just adopted them a little bit. But they have had a bit of a clear out of the squad. Paddy Madden, who was their main number 9 for the most part last year, he's 35, 36. He's been a bit of a journeyman, but he's been shown the door. A couple of others in midfield as well I didn't expect to go. I think his first name escapes me, but his last name's Hippolyte, and he was brilliant any time I went to go and see him. So I'm surprised he went, but I think the biggest win for them is they've managed to they had Louis Barry on loan from Villa last season, and he did sadly pick up a bit of an injury through the season. They missed him for quite a lot of games, but when he played, you could see that he was taking the piss. Like League Two was just not the level he could have been playing at. He was so far and above everyone else around him. He was smashing goals in for fun. And now he's rejoined for another season. So a good move for him. He's still getting to play at a decent level with a club that he knows, and it'd be interesting to see him fly straight in League One. So I think County, I think they've got enough to be safe. But I think pushing up the table, playoffs might come a bit too soon. I think they need to establish themselves in the league first. But I've got quite high hopes for them. They're a fun team to watch as well at County.
Right. So who else is going to be up there in this league then? Who are both of you backing for, I don't know, some sort of charge? Because I'm not going to lie, I only ever focus on Bolton, and I don't really know who else is in this league. I could probably name you about 5 other teams, the 2 that we've already spoke about. So my knowledge on EFL isn't great. So who should the average Joe like me be looking out for? Any players particularly or teams?
I think Wigan will be up there, personally.
Wigan definitely will be up there, I think. I agree with Scott, by the way, in terms of Louis Barry re-signing for Stockport. I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I thought he might sneak a championship move, to be fair.
Yeah, same.
It's a very, very good one. In terms of others, Barnsley are always up there, but they have lost a few players this season, including McAtee, who I keep bringing up, but he is still very much potentially going to be loaning to either ourselves, Wrexham, or even Birmingham, interested in a permanent move now, as they are with Karamoko Dembele. Ridiculous. But anyway, so expect Barnsley up there. Expect Peterborough up there as well. And potentially
they've been pushing.
Reading, who are now in a much better footing in terms of the off-the-field stuff.
Yeah.
Reading potentially could be up there as well. Have I missed anyone, Scott? Now you're a League One expert as well, sort of place here a little bit.
I know they're in the league. Admittedly, I'm not sure how they've been doing, but how did Charlton get on last year? Were they in League One last year, or did they come down from Championship?
Really interesting, actually, Charlton, because they had a very poor start to the season. Sat the manager, which I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. Was it Dean Holden? May have been Dean Holden. And they got in Nathan Jones, Premier League's own favourite son of God, Nathan Jones, who turned them right around, actually. So they could be an interesting force next season as to where they end up. I don't know if they'll be quite challenging right at the top, but I think they've got probably the best manager in the league. So it'll be quite interesting to see where Charlton do finish.
Right. There's some big... I mean, used to look forward to these in the Premier League, but some good big games and local derbies really for Bolton this season. If you class Blackpool and Wigan, which are games that Bolton tend not to do well in, Liam. Is that key to this season?
100%. It's probably the thing I want to see the most this season, really. It was particularly the Wigan game. Sick to fucking death of losing that game. And losing badly as well. Not just losing, but being humiliated by... Everyone hates their rival, don't they?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone hates their rival, but there's something about Wigan and their fan base that just really, really sort of gets under your skin. Like, more than any other. It just doesn't feel right. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's loads of great Wigan fans out there, but I'm yet to really interact with them that much. It's just, they're just such a horrible team to lose against. In terms of Blackpool, it's been about 60 years since we won there. We just don't win there. So, I mean, I would like us to win there, but I feel like it must be like surmounting Mount Everest to go and win at Bloomfield Road. So I don't want to like ask them to like, do something that is completely actually impossible, which it seems to be winning there. But hopefully, yeah. The truth is mine. Winning these games is the difference between playoffs and automatic.
Yeah.
That's it. Because League One has about 7 or 8 good teams, and everyone else is shite. That's how it's set up. That's how it works. So everyone wins the shite games. And don't get me wrong, you'll get some that are consistent. I would say we're more consistent than others at winning, at like wading through the shit. We're better at it than most. But the problem is we don't beat the teams around us, and that's ultimately what cost us last season.
And Wigan also started last season on -9 or 14, whatever it was. So they'll be without that disadvantage this season, which, could throw them right up there. But again, I'm not sure how a lot of these teams are looking. Which, as a travelling fan, Liam, where are you looking forward to going this season? Anywhere new?
I mean, maybe Wrexham, I suppose. But I mean, it'll be like gold dust them tickets. I imagine they don't have many big away accolation.
No, it's a small one.
Stockport, now that we think about it, that is quite a good one. Because obviously, if I can't get an away ticket, our resident Stockport fan can sort me out in the home end. That's quite good now. So that's quite handy. Yeah, probably Stockport, I would say.
All right. Well, let's stay with Bolton then for a minute. What changes do you want to see this season in terms of on the pitch? What do Bolton need to do to get automatic, other than turning over Wigan once and for all?
I'm not sure if this will be the difference between automatic and playoffs, but I do think we need to be more tactically flexible.
What does that mean?
So a big issue for Bolton is the absolute reluctance to move from anything other than 5 at the back with wing backs. Like, we'll just not do it. Like, that is absolute fundamental. And the right centre back may step into midfield a little bit more if we're chasing a game. I think this really showed as an issue when we were at home and we were losing a game, and it may have been Lincoln. Seems to always be Lincoln. And we went 1-0 down and down to 10 men in about the 40th minute. And it's obvious, and that 10 men was Santos. Of course it was. He got sent off. Why would it not be? And what Everett does is he substitutes Dion Charles off to bring a centre back on at home against 18th in the league, because he wants to keep that 5 at the back, and goes 5-3-1 instead of what is obviously you would go 4-3-2. That should be obvious.
4-4-1. Yeah.
You even need to make a sub. You could go 4-3-2. You wouldn't even need to make a sub. We need a bit more flexibility. I get that we play football in a certain way, and there's philosophies and there's principles and all that shite, and I'm sure it's all true. I'm sure it's all more technical than I can see football, and all the professionals are seeing things that I can't see, and buy into all that. But surely, after 5 years of doing it, we can maybe do it in being stood in slightly different places. Maybe. I feel like, or maybe I'm asking too much. But is
that a personnel thing?
Maybe. I have suspected for a long time that he sees Santos as a gift and a curse, and wouldn't want him as part of a 2 because it'd expose him on the ball too much, and he would have to rely on him to get the ball into midfield, and he doesn't want to do that. He'd rather him have the time of having an easy option in terms of the pass. Maybe it's that, but then we need to take him out the team and play a 4. If it's that, you've got to have. If we've got a deeper squad now, which we have, you've got to have the ability to play in more than one system. I think this is pretty. I don't feel like I'm asking a lot, but when you know what I mean, like it's not that much. I'm sure we could do it if we really, really tried.
Well, that's all you ever want as a fan, innit? Is for them to just try.
Yeah, I just want them to try, man. And if they fail, then I'll blame them, and I'll never say that it was me and ever out. But we'll see.
Right. So let's round up the EFL, or at least League One. Give us your thoughts on Bolton and Stockport and Wrexham and Birmingham and whoever else. Just give us a summarising paragraph about the League One season as a prediction.
The League One season in a short prediction?
Yeah.
Okay, so Birmingham's to lose. The Wrexham circus is in town, travelling to a stadium near you soon with all its thing. Bolton are hurting. Can they get themselves together and get up? Only they will know right now. Everyone else, you're probably watching from the sidelines, and Bolton are coming, and they will smash you, but ultimately fall short because they'll lose twice to Wigan 6-0, and that will be that.
Scott, any other final thoughts on League One? Your beloved Stockport.
I feel like Stockport will have a respectable season. I don't think they'll pull up any trees. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll make a good account of themselves. But I think more importantly, do we think that we could get Ryan Reynolds on the podcast when he's in Bolton?
I reckon that's a shout. Or maybe the other one, Rob McElhenney.
Yeah.
He's less.
Or at
He
least
seems less busy.
Well,
yeah, at least a drinking fan is, if nothing else.
Well, we could try. I think we tried getting Mbappe on, but Martin, you deleted the tweet that we attempted to get Mbappe on the podcast.
Didn't even at him correctly. It's like a child had wrote his first tweet. Kylian Mbappe, can you be my friend?
It was, can you come on our podcast, please, Mr. Mbappe?
Shouting into the wind. Right, boys. Any other notes? In fact, Liam, who's absolute relegation fodder in this league? Who should everyone be battering? Or is it totally up for debate at this moment? Could be one of 10.
Crawley probably are the team that will finish. I imagine. Other than that, there's quite a few teams that could finish in the relegation zones, to be completely honest. Cambridge, I feel, at some point will get relegated. They're always there and thereabouts at the bottom. Teams like that tend to... It's like the 2p coins you put in those little machines that go round and round and round.
They're just circling the drain.
Yeah, I think Cambridge will probably go down at some point. I'll probably miss something, but it'll probably be some team that plays in red and white from the coastal town in northwest England somewhere that I've heard either is in our league or in League Two. They all sort of bleed into one.
Lincoln, you've only mentioned Lincoln once, and they usually come up a few times, so we'll chuck them down there as well.
I get Lincoln and Leyton Orient confused again, because even though they're nowhere near, but there's something in my brain that puts them two together.
Yeah. Right. Well, we'll leave that there. Thanks, boys. Please do not forget to join our fantasy league. You can find the code on all of our social media, and you can find links to all our social media at our website, www.fixingfootballpodcast.com. Please go and like and share and subscribe and do all that good stuff, because it will, well, number one, it will tidy up your algorithm so you don't have to see any of the other shite that Twitter or anything wants to feed you, and it'll make us feel nice, and that's two nice things in one go. So yes, thank you everyone for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, boys.
Goodbye.
See you in a bit.